Afternoon. I give God all the honor and the glory to be able to come before you with another word. Basically, piggyback riding off of what I was talking about last time about letting go and let God. We talked about the disciples of how they had forsaken everything that they believed in, the lifestyle that they were living to follow Christ. And we talk about the rich young ruler who seemed to couldn't let go of what God told him that he felt was lacking in his life, because God's not going to bless no mess. So what I want to do, I want to start out with telling you a story. And it was about this dude that loved the Lord. That's all he talked about is how he loved the Lord. And he went everywhere proclaiming and telling people how he loved the Lord. So one day he ended up going on to the end of this corner store, and these youngsters was over there shooting dice. And you know them youngsters nowadays, they not trying to hear nothing about no God. They're not trying to hear nothing about no Jesus. So he tell them, I love the Lord. I love the Lord. So the kids looked up at him and said, man, you better get up out of here with all that nonsense. We don't care about no God. We don't care about no G. Better yet, if you love the Lord as much as you say you love the Lord, why don't you go up there to the top of the mountain and speak to him one-on-one? Because we ain't trying to hear it. So the man looked up there towards the mountain and he thought to himself, that sounds like a pretty good idea. I've never been that close to God. So he gets up there to the top of the mountain and he's looking around at all the beauty and the art that God had created, and he yells out, Lord, I love you. I love you, Lord. And the wind blows. Do you really love me? He go to looking around because he like, I'm up here by myself. Who can be talking to me? Not realizing at the time that it was God talking to him. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Because sometimes you hear the voice of God speaking to you and you think it's your conscience. Sometimes you hear the voice of God speaking to you and you think it's the devil. But you never know when God is talking to you unless you can feel it inside of your heart. So as he's listening to that voice, the wind blows again and say, do you love me? Now he realizing that it's God. He said, yeah, I love you. Do you really, really love me? Now he's getting a little cocky. Yeah, I love you. Do you really, really, really love me? Now he bold. I die for you. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. You done tried to plea bargain with God and make a deal with God saying, if you get me out this situation, I'll do this. If you get me out of that situation, I'll do that. That's what he was doing. He felt like he was plea bargaining with God, and the wind came and blowed him up off of the cliff. And as he's falling down, he's calling on everybody that can seem to help him, but he never called on the name that saved him from the first day. So he's sitting there and he's screaming, help, help, help. And he's falling, he's falling, he's falling. And when he finally said, Lord, save me, he ended up grabbing onto this branch. And he's holding on to this branch. And he's looking down and see it's a long way down now. And the wind blows. Do you love me? He's looking up and down. He's like, yeah, I love you, Lord. I love you. Do you really, really love me? Yeah, Lord, I love you. I really do love you. You know what it is. We always telling God how much we love him when we need him, don't we? So the wind blow again. Let go of that branch. He looked down. He looked up. He looked down. He looked back up. He said, let me talk to somebody else because you tripping. Have it ever been like that in your life to where God is telling you to do something, you tell God you tripping? Have you ever felt in your heart that God told you to get up out of this relationship, but you try to tell God, just give it a little time, God. He gonna change, she gonna change. Have you ever said you were gonna stop drinking or smoking and you always told yourself, just one last time, or I stop Monday? God telling you to stop right now. Because there's one thing that you are lacking, and he's been telling you all along. He is not going to bless no mess. It's either you're going to give it to him and let God, or you can continue to struggle the way you are struggling. It's not as hard as we're making it. We make it hard because we don't want to let go. We want to hold on to the things that we feel that are dear to us. How do you know what God is going to do in your life if you never give it over to him? I pray that this has ministered to somebody, and I give God all the glory and honor, and I just thank y'all for listening today. Amen.